Hi everybody. So today we are here with Dr. Ram in MIDAS Bytes Brews by Mitigata. This is a podcast series which we do in Mitigata, and this is for everybody, but especially for the young generation who wants to know about the industry, create their careers out of this. And so I'm Dr. Lalit Gupta, known as cyber doctor, in the industry. Been there, done that. Started my career 31 years back, when information security was not known, and I always tell this story to everybody how I got married with that misconception of information security in my in-laws side. But some other time I'll tell that story. So information security meant either the security guard standing outside, or if somebody was technical, it was antivirus. That's all. So from there, I think Dr. Ram and I, we started the career at the same time. And from there, today we are in AI security, digital security, and everything we are talking about. So, okay, if I talk about myself, I worked with, God has given me chances. I worked with Government of India, a lot of other government agencies, British Telecom, Credit Suisse Bank. Now I'm with Mitigata as a senior partner. So, we are solving the problem which industry has, how to secure the nation. So that's our motto, and that's our goal, that's our vision in Mitigata. We are trying to secure our nation. And in turn, that if my corporates are secure, my nation will be secure, right? So that's the idea. So over to Dr. Ram, I'll request you to introduce yourself.
Thanks, Dr. Lalit, for having me here. Happy to be here in this podcast. I am Dr. Ram Kumar. I am part of a large automotive company with their cybersecurity function. I have overall 25 years of experience, of which 22 years I have spent in cybersecurity. I worked across a range of industries from ISP to IT, ITS, media entertainment, investment banking, healthcare. Now I'm in automotive. So it's been a great experience working, learning and growing in this domain. And I'm very happy to be here and share whatever insights I know on cybersecurity in this podcast.
Welcome, Dr. Ram.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Ram, that was what we have been doing in the industry for a couple of decades. Now, let's go into the future. Now, I will not talk about what will happen in next decade or 2 decades. Time is moving very fast. So, next 5 to 7 years, what do you think? Where do you see the industry going? What do you see the organizations adopting to be cyber resilient?
Of course, as you rightly said, talking about a decade is going to be very far-fetched, because the dynamic nature of the business, you can never predict how it will go. I think 5 to 7 years is a reasonable period of time that we can foresee. Of course, the threats, today we are in the era of AI threats, right? AI-powered threats, AI, adversarial AI versus AI. So all these things are already happening. So in the next few years, the mission speed and scale at which AI attacks are happening, it will no longer be enough to have a traditional cybersecurity solution or a technology platform. So you need to bring in AI integration into every other
AI solution. To fight AI.
AI to fight AI, exactly. AI versus
Absolutely.
AI. And human response won't be enough anymore. Of course, a human oversight or human in the
definitely
loop
needed.
Is very critical.
Dr. Ram, so let us start with what we have come through. 20, 30 years we both have been in industry, and when we started, the industry was somewhere else. Risks were, if I look back today, they were very small risks. Today, the landscape is changed. So what's the single biggest shift that you've seen from those days to now?
The single biggest shift has come from protecting everything to being resilient. That is very important. So we have evolved from cybersecurity and transition into an era of cyber resilience, because we realize that any seasoned cybersecurity leader will tell you It is not possible to protect everything and all the time. Definitely, there is going to be a breach that is inevitable.
So how do I come back?
Are we ready to handle the breach and minimize the impact for our operations or our bottom line and continue with serving our customers? So that is one big change. And of course, the board also has become smarter and aware thanks to the regulatory regime where cyber risks are focused more, and you cannot just brush it under the carpet. Today, most regulations mandate that cyber security incidents have to be reported.
Taken care of.
Cyber security material risks have to be mentioned listed or mentioned in the annual report if it is a listed company. So like that, a lot of mandates have come, and it is no longer an IT issue. That is one big shift. It is a business risk, a strategic business risk. Just like how companies look at market risk, credit risk, and business risk. When your reputation risk, cyber risk is also looked at that way. And so all these changes are happening, and most importantly, the threat scenario landscape has changed a lot. Today we are in the era of AI-powered attacks. So AI-powered attacks, anything from a simple hyper-realistic phishing email or a voice phishing to deep fakes to polymorphic
digital arrays and all.
Anything on AI-powered is at mission speed and mission scale. So that is one big change that is happening, where traditional defenses are no longer enough. We cannot fight today's threats with yesterday's tools, yesterday's defenses. So AI versus AI, we have come to that era where adversarial AI is actually where AI is used as a tool, target, medium, and AI technology is weaponized. So all these changes are happening, and the industry is shifting very dynamically.
That's very insightful, Dr. Ram. Yeah, industry has gone a big change. The risks those days were very minuscule, and today with all these phishing emails you talked about, earlier we used to say like look for the spelling mistakes and these things in the phishing email. These days phishing emails are written better than any human would have written those emails, right? You're absolutely right.
As you said, all those red flags are gone. We used to say look at the grammar, typos.
Nothing is there. Now those mails are better. Right? So we have come a long way.
And other key thing I would say is the profile of the attackers, right? Today it is not just organized criminal syndicates which are doing this cyber attacks. You have APT gangs supported by nation states. That is the most scary and dangerous stuff, because they have access to endless pit of resources
are there.
Money and threat actors which they can leverage and target any organization or any group, and if you are on the target, you cannot escape. As simple as that. So the nation states, the Western world loves to portray these four countries as the axis of evil, namely Russia, North Korea, China, and Iran. But having said that, the other countries are no holy saints. Everyone has their cyber army with their own APT groups aligned with their military. So today war is not just fought on land, air and sea. Today the dimension is in cyberspace as well as in the real space also.
Correct.
So that's how things have evolved a lot in the last 15-20 years.
Cyber risk has changed a lot from those times to these times. Great.
It's non-negotiable. But point is, AI will bring in a lot of hype and weight to the cyber attack scenario prevailing, and the geopolitical risks, that is also going to play a big role, because in the real world, as a casual viewer of current affairs, we know how a multipolar world
things are changing so fast.
Every major country wants to take power. Primarily the fight is between the US and China perceived, and all these geopolitical tensions will translate into real world cyber attacks. We already seen in the Russian-Ukraine war, ongoing war, how cyber attacks have been happening against those who are perceived to support either of the countries. So that is going to happen. And the other key thing is the compliances will only get more tighter and stricter.
They have to, they have to do that. Correct.
Yeah, every other country would want to have issues. I mean, they will tighten the data sovereignty. Already, our DPDP Act also talks about it.
Yeah.
How multinational companies would be handling
The
data
data,
of
correct.
citizens of that country, whichever country. Can you ship the data or transfer data to another country is a question mark. So data sovereignty will take a lot of precedence in the coming years. And of course, the accountability for managing data securely will become tighter, and companies will face humongous pressure to maintain the regulations optimally, right? Meet the regulations optimally.
Absolutely.
And of course, the skill sets that you require to manage the complex cybersecurity is going to be very tough to find in the market.
Correct.
Already we are grappling with cyber
The skills,
shortage.
yeah.
So it's going to get worse unless industry collaborates with academia in upskilling the upcoming generation with the right skills and tools required for the workforce.
Right. Now, you exactly touched upon the point which brings me to my next question. The enterprises are going global. Now it's not only in one region that I would have my business in.
Yeah.
I would go global. You work for a global giant of automotive. I work for a consulting company where we do consulting globally, right? So how do you see these cybersecurity architectures scaling for that global need? I would have conflicting requirements, compliance requirements in one place to another. So how do we manage that as a leader?
See, already we are in the using defense in depth architecture. It's a layered way of managing the attacks so that it deters delays as much as possible. We are already working under the assumption breach can happen. So we are building a lot of resiliency into our infrastructure. The third thing could be the cybersecurity mesh architecture. So that will actually help you to reduce the blast radius in case there is a major data breach or a security incident, because different third parties connect to the organizations, and if something goes wrong, quickly it can cut off connectivity and reduce the losses.
Correct.
So that is another way. And of course, we are already pushing for zero trust model everywhere. So where your identity is a new perimeter today.
Correct.
Right?
You don't have to remember the password.
Yeah. There's going to be passwordless. All the old school technologies and paradigms are going to go away. It's a lot of new research is going on how you can make things secure. New technologies are coming. Agentic AI is coming up in a big way in SOC world, right? You don't need L1, L2 analysts anymore. The human element is being done away with, but of course that is at a cost of people losing jobs. But in terms of efficiency, it brings in a lot of speed and efficient way of addressing the risk, the triaging, the remediation. Everything is faster at efficient speed. And importantly, you can eliminate the subjectivity of the human element. Because the morning shift guy can either remediate himself or herself or pass it on to the second shift guy and move on. Whereas the window of exposure is huge. Morning 8 a.m. they get the alert. They can choose to do it next 10 minutes, or they can do it in the next 8 hours. So the more they delay, the more window of exposure. Plus, whatever tool you have, Jira, for example, ServiceNow, you need to have licenses, all that you need to pay for. So that license cost, everything is gone when you bring in agentic AI. So multiple ways, organizations also benefiting mainly in addressing the threats optimally in a very efficient and quick manner. And all these changes is going to make things very different for cybersecurity. We have a lot of action to see in the next few years.
No, you're absolutely right. AI in cybersecurity is going to change a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Do you also see all other kinds of automations that are happening in the industry? We do a lot of data analytics. All of that would also impact the industry in coming times, or
Exactly, because the data that is being generated is humongous, and analytics definitely gives a handle to get insights, if not monetization. And these insights can be fed into AI systems that can act smarter, can learn by itself, it can train the LLMs or no, short language models, whatever. And that can enhance the cybersecurity posture for the organizations. So analytics provides a lot of insights in enhancing cybersecurity of organizations. That's my take on that.
no, absolutely right. So all of these fields will also evolve
True.
with security,
Yeah.
right? Going. So yeah, we'll talk about that in the end for our young generation. All of these fields and everything. Good, very good point. So today we know, like as leaders of the industry, we know that security is not contained within my enterprise. I have certain things inputting and certain things are going out.
Yeah.
So the whole supply chain has to be secured.
True.
So what's your take as a leader on that? What industry should do?
So today, as you said, security is not just within the confines of organization. We are in the era of extended enterprise where we will have to worry about making the entire ecosystem resilient, not just the perimeter.
Correct.
The perimeter-based security is already outdated. So we are talking about ecosystem being resilient rather than the security fabric being resilient. So that means you are looking at all your supply chain risks also have to be factored in. That's where I said when you bring in cybersecurity mesh architecture, that will
Then it is
help
taken
you
care of.
in
Correct.
optimizing things and reducing the losses in case there is a breach at one of your suppliers or vendors, right? And of course, the internal network can no longer be trusted. And that's where all this zero trust
Zero trust is coming
model
in.
will come in and play a huge role. And continuous monitoring will definitely bring in the visibility and quick alerts and real time, so that mitigation can be initiated
yeah.
either in an automated way or in a manual way. So all these changes, definitely it's going to add more muzzle to the cybersecurity capability.
So in essence, what you're saying is, it's not only one part of enterprise, but the whole ecosystem needs to be secured.
Needs to be secure. It's not just when
It's because the threat can come from anywhere, internal, external. You never know, right?
Yeah.
So okay, Dr. Ram. See, you and I were fortunate enough that when we started our careers, there were not many cybersecurity leaders, right? We were exposed to every side of security, technical, governance, everything we did, right, from the beginning itself. Now the early leaders who are coming up now, they don't get that exposure. They are either technically very strong in one side, or they are from other aspects of business and they are given the cybersecurity responsibility. So how do we distinguish between these cybersecurity leaders as per their effectiveness for the organization? With respect to like somebody is technically very strong, but maybe not that effective as a leader for the cybersecurity. So what's your take on that?
See, being a C-level executive as a CISO, or you're tasked with running cybersecurity with whatever title, it could be a VP or a director, it's a management position. You cannot be having only one-dimensional capability as being technically very strong and proficient. You need to pick up the management skills and speak the management business language. You have to come across as someone with whom the senior management can do business instead of getting bogged down with technical jargons. So that way the CISO or whoever is tasked with that role has to translate technical concepts, very complex technical issues, to business understandable points.
Correct.
So that non-security professionals can easily understand this, especially when you speak to the board. Traditionally, board of directors come from chartered accountant background or lawyer background.
Yes.
Right? So those folks, if you have to effectively engage, and over a period of time, they will educate them.
Correct.
Even the board
So you need to speak
on.
their
So you have to
language.
speak the business language. That is very important. So along with your technical mastery of whatever domain within cybersecurity, you need to build the management skills, business skills, have a complete appreciation and understanding of what the organization is into, what sort of business, and have that awareness on other aspects. Say even skills on program management, budgeting, vision, strategy, people management, team leadership. All these things matter along with executive presence.
Absolutely.
So when you enter into a boardroom or a conference room, people should take you seriously rather than just viewing you or perceiving you as a technical right? Because your effectiveness is in the communication. It's one of my favorite quote is when I say, I read this somewhere, 80% of your success as a leader is not due to your technical expertise, rather than
What you can
ability to get along with people and communicate effectively.
Absolutely.
Right? Because when you are young as a SOC analyst or a application security engineer, day in, day out, you would be handling technology. But as you grow higher,
You need to come
you
out.
need to come out of that shell and have a broader view of the world and effectively communicate with senior leaders and your peers. So that's what
So
I thought.
another very good takeaway from you, Dr. Ram, for the young generation specifically.
Absolutely.
Come out of your shell, start talking to the world, and start speaking their language,
True.
what they understand.
In short, you become an all-rounder. You can't
Yeah.
say I am a batsman, I am a bowler. All that is fine when you are young, have that technical competence. But as you grow higher, I again give an analogy of the alphabet T, right?
Yeah.
So when you are young, you will build a mile-deep expertise and an inch-wide exposure as a specialist. It's always good to start as a specialist in one or two
And then
technologies.
grow
Then
and create the.
as you grow, it becomes the opposite. You will, as you grow as a leader, you will have inch-deep expertise because you are no longer hands-on, but you will have a mile-wide exposure. You become a generalist. So again, we need a generalist at a leadership role. It is good if you still have the technical acumen and hands-on in whatever your chosen technology, but you should also build that generalist mindset
Correct.
in managing
So
things and handling
another good takeaway from you, the T.
T.
So go deep in one domain,
Yeah.
and then when you grow up, develop everything,
Everything, yeah,
whatever you know.
yeah.
Okay, so that brings me to a memory which I have from Bangalore. 20 years back, I was here,
Okay.
and I used to work for a company called LG Electronics.
Okay.
So when I joined in, they were starting the security, and I was given that responsibility. Starting from physical security to logical security to technical security, everything was given to me. And we had installed CCTV cameras across, metal detectors, X-ray scanner machines. Then we blocked, those days it was Orkut, it was not Facebook, right? You remember. So we blocked Orkut, we blocked all the, everything else, social media they had, all the Yahoo mails, Rediff mails were blocked.
Chat, Yahoo chat.
Yahoo chat. Gmail was not there at that time. So that created a sense of fear in everybody. What is going on? What has changed suddenly?
Yeah.
Till yesterday we did not have anything. We could walk freely everywhere. Now they are frisking me when I'm coming out. They are frisking me when I'm going out.
Yeah.
And everything is blocked. I can't even go and log in into certain sites which I used to. So how as a leader we should create that culture without fear?
Well, it is, you take a very positive approach towards building a very sustainable culture. It is not about always showing the stick and threatening people, stating if you don't follow the policy, if you deviate or violate the security policy, you will be in trouble. So take the balanced approach, carrot and stick, rather highlight the rewards, right? You put up, you do something exemplary, you display exemplary security behavior, reward them in public.
Very
but
good.
reprimand people in private. Never do that in public.
Very good
When
point.
people go wrong, you take them aside and say, see, this is not acceptable
the way of
practice or
correct.
appropriate behavior we expect. This is not as per our policy. Next time, be careful. And of course, in very, the gravity of the violation is very high.
Take the action.
Appropriately, you'll have to take action through the HR, right? That is another story. But my point is, the leaders have to set an example, lead by example.
Lead from front,
displaying
yes.
the security best practices, following the security policies, and that will inspire people to follow. And more importantly, engage them. And today we are in the era of Gen Zers in the workforce. So plain Jane presentation will not work by way of awareness session.
Absolutely.
So you'll have to gamify, make it fun, make it interesting, involve them, and make them understand why this practice is the right way to do, why this is not appropriate, and then reward them for everything. Make it very interesting for them through gamified solutions. So that will probably help. And the messaging should always be positive, because I remember many years back I was working in a animation company, and we did a poster campaign on security awareness. Very short, intuitive messages, slogans with a nice picture, and we got it printed in very huge sizes. And we took some 15 of them and showed to my reporting manager, who was a country head at that time. He was not from security background, he was a management person,
Yeah.
coming from the management background. Of course, he was a country head as good as a CEO. So he looked at everything, but he said, Ram, please don't put this poster. It was something like an Uncle Sam picture with the hat, and said, we want you, if you are not, you will be fired.
So
If you
people
kind
will
of
get fearful.
fearful.
Ah.
It created that fear psychosis. Already some layoffs were going on. And in that scenario, if you go and put this poster, people may not perceive it right way. So those things come from the experience of the situational awareness and environmental awareness, what is going on. So the positive, vibes is more important rather than telling in a very harsh or negative way, because people remember good stuff. And it's always good to goad people for the right exemplary behavior rather than showing fear or
Stick
or
every time.
negativity.
Correct. So another takeaway from Dr. Ram for the young leaders: reward them in public and reprimand them in private.
True.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Ram, for that. That was very insightful. Okay, so young leaders, when we talk about them, what skills should they have today at the top, which will help them to become the true leader?
Okay, folks, you were talking about how these techies to the managerial leadership.
Anybody who want to get elevated to that level of leadership,
Oh, yeah.
the path which you and I have come from.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
these young leaders, they don't have time. They want put 20 years to reach this level, right?
Today, of course, our times are very different. We had to come the hard way, rise through the ranks, prove
Correct.
ourselves. And today, I'll tell you, I've seen Gen Zers with 4 or 5 years experience taking up leadership roles.
Yes.
Right. So that is going to be the norm. So let us be prepared for that. But for folks who are Gen Zers who want to grow fast, build that business mindset and come out of your technical mindset. Of course, being strong in technical area is always good, but you have aspirations to grow as a leader. You have to put on the leadership hat and learn the ropes of being a leader. So one good way I would always recommend is go for a good MBA program or a PG program for working executives from a top ranked IIM. Today IIMs are there in every state in India. Not all IIMs are of the same caliber on the value. So look for the top 5, what we call ABC, LK, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta,
Correct.
Kozhikode, Indore and Lucknow. So these top 6 you can do some strategic management program or advanced leadership program, or even from ISB you can do, or from XLRI. So do one program along with your you're very proud of your BTechs or MS, MCAs. That is not enough. You want
There
to
is something else that is needed, right?
Leader. You need to have that management and business perspective. And this MBA or PG program will give you that insight.
That edge, yeah.
Okay, edge actually. Exactly. So do invest that time, whatever 1 year or 2 year in doing for working professionals, you don't have to quit and go. You can do side by side and be very proactive in learning stuff. Observe people, observe leaders, how they interact, how they behave, their communication. All of this you can build over a period of time, and then when the time is right and opportunities arise, you are ready to fill in the big shoes as a leader. And don't be too overly possessive about your technical domain because that's not going to last for long. One thing is the technology will change. You have to upskill.
Correct.
Second thing is you become expensive. Suppose you are a SOC manager with 10 years. How long you can continue in that role? Because you become very expensive with every year.
Then a new person would come on 1/4 of your salary and
exactly. And Gen Zers and juniors will take over your role, and management will find value in them because they are more hands-on and more teachable, coachable, and come at a lesser cost. So you have to upskill, step up, and get on to the next level as a leader. You like it or not, that is the way forward. If you want to be in a powerful role as a decision maker and leader, so that's the way. So I thought I will give you this perspective.
That's very good insight you have given young leaders. So again, another very good thing coming from Dr. Ram. Skill is good. Go and join a school and learn it from the professors.
Yes.
And then come to the corporate and use all that knowledge you gained. Very good. Thank you so much for that. So that brings us to the close of segment 4. Dr. Ram, we talked about what young leaders should do to excel in the field.
Yeah.
They don't have time like us. We took 20-30 years to reach there. They want to reach there in 5-7 years. And that's what is happening in the industry. So to help these young leaders, what is that one mind shift they need to have to be able to do what we achieved in 20-30 years, to achieve that in 5-7 years? What is that one single change they need to make?
The ability to continuously learn, unlearn and relearn. That is very important because change is the only thing constant in technology domain, more so in cybersecurity. So learning, staying curious and constantly upskilling, because even after 22 years in the industry I am still learning. I feel I'm always inadequate. Just keep looking over my shoulder whether am I good enough, and I can never call myself as an expert today. Right? So the pressure is huge. So that means you should be always on constant learning mode. That one will give you that edge over others. And of course you can, when you are young and you are building your career, you can get yourself, your knowledge and skills validated through certifications, solid certifications, so that they can showcase wherever they go. Matter of 2 years, you can plan easily 4 certifications, one easy. I always suggest people when they come to me for advice, every year do 2 certifications.
Correct.
One easy, one tough. Easy could be something like a ISO lead auditor or implementer.
And tough could be like
3 days, 5 days and close it. Whereas a tough one could be a CISA or a CISA.
ISACA, IC certifications.
ISACA or IC Square. And don't go all over the place with every cert that comes your way. You have to be very focused and build your path in the chosen area. Otherwise you become a certification junkie. I got friends, I've seen people during the COVID time, there was tremendous push on upskilling.
Doing the certifications.
There are people who did in 1 year 77 certifications, all small certifications. So my point is, be very choosy. If you are developing your expertise in cloud, do everything it takes in getting certifications in that domain. You are in SOC, in whichever domain, you build it, then you move on to the next area.
Correct.
And because when your CV goes to a hiring manager, they will not be able to place if you are all over the place. you did something
Where
in
will
data
you fit
privacy,
in?
something in
Correct,
cloud,
correct.
something in AppSec. So you find out which is your core area in which you should become an expert. Nobody can find fault with your credentials. But as you grow higher in your career, certifications really don't matter. Nobody is going to ask today, Ram, you don't have this certification because the weight of your experience and skills is good enough.
But still we have.
We still
Right.
we have. But point is, all the bells and whistles you need when you are growing and building. And you need to look good with all the jewelry and the makeup when you are building your career.
I like that
Not-
analogy.
Right? So that is a key point I wanted to make.
So again, another takeaway from what you said. When you are starting your career, initial 5, 7, 10 years,
Yes,
you need certifications.
true.
Prepare a plan, follow that plan. As Dr. Ram said, one easy and one difficult every year you do. 5 years, 10 certifications, good enough for your life.
Definitely.
Right? After that, whatever comes on the way, learn that and go along.
The main advantage is you stand out from the crowd.
Yeah.
But having said that, there is another set of managers that you should be aware. They don't care two hoots about certs. They'll say what skills you bring to the table.
Correct.
So both have to go on hand in hand. Certification is more for the style. The skills is more for substance. Style and substance should go hand in hand. And more importantly, when your CV has all the key certifications,
It opens
with
the
all
doors.
the keywords, your automated transcript system, your
ATS.
tracking system, application tracking system, ATS will easily pick up. And when it goes to the hiring manager, between two candidates who have the certifications, one who doesn't, they'll always go with the candidate who has a cert. So your market value enhances, and you can demand a very premium pay. They get paid more.
Correct.
And what it shows to your hiring manager by way of perception is they will perceive you positively, that you have put in so much effort to upskill yourself, and you become part of that club. Because many years back, I'll give you an example. Many years back, I was applying for a role elsewhere, and then I was just newly minted CISM, Certified InfoSec Manager credential, and the hiring manager, the guy who was interviewing me, was also CISM. So immediately the conversation, he was very happy.
Went to that side.
Yeah, it went on a tangent. At least 10 minutes we were talking about how we prepared for the exam, what was challenges, right? So immediately we bonded. So you become part of
That melted the ice for you.
Exactly. Right?
See, another advantage what Dr. Ram is saying about certifications is it can melt the ice during the interviews.
Exactly.
One, it opens the doors, yes, definitely, but then it can help you melt the ice also.
Yeah. And also they don't ask you basic questions.
No, they
say,
will not.
You are already a
Correct.
certified candidate. The level of conversation in an
Will
interview
be
will be at a
at
higher
different
level,
level.
right? So that's why I'm a big supporter of upskilling through certifications.
Correct.
But you have to be choosy and careful about where you put your money and time and effort.
They
That
take
is
a lot of
important.
time, effort, and money, yes. So be choosy, yes, that's the. Dr. Ram, that was very insightful. One last question, if I may. This podcast will go to all the youngsters who want to come into this field also, not only the young leaders. So what is one advice you can give to them to come to this field? Let's take an example, a fresh BTech graduate.
Yeah.
What he or she should do to get into this field, because as a fresher we don't hire a lot of people, right? But if they have some add-on skills or certificates you talked about, what is that nut and bolt which will help them to get into the field faster?
See, today kids are very smart. Even at graduation level, they upskill and make their CV studded with gems. It is not just a plain Jane BTech degree they come out. So even in their second year onwards, they start doing basic certifications. So 21 years when I did CEH, that was a very in thing premium cert.
That time.
Today CEH is a college
second year kid is doing it.
So do all the basic certifications and gain that mastery. Second, work on hands-on projects, have home labs if possible, and be on Try Hack Me kind of platform. Hone your skills.
Capture the flags.
Capture the flag events, hackathons, participate. Participation itself is an achievement. You don't have to necessarily win. If you win, well and good. but even participation will give you a lot of insights. That experience is very valuable. And be part of industry meetups if you have the time on a weekend, at least monthly once, one Saturday. You can attend. A lot of communities are there in metro cities, including Bangalore. You have on cloud security, V-Sites, AISEC, ISACA, AC Square, everyone
All of them
runs
are correct.
events. So attend the events and if possible volunteer. Go as a volunteer, you will gain a lot of experience. What goes on in putting together these
Plus you get
sessions.
to know the industry leaders.
Industry leaders,
What is going on in the industry, then you get connects.
Apart from the subject matter you gain, the knowledge and skills you gain when you attend the sessions, you will also connect with people, your own peers and seniors and leaders. You never know who could become your best friend or
Correct.
who could give you a lead for a job.
Yeah,
down
they
the line.
refer somewhere, they talk about you.
So that industry connect is very important. Networking is your network. Network is your network. So build on having a good network and get your LinkedIn profiles activated. I know all Gen Zers love Insta. Insta
But
is fun.
LinkedIn is good.
in LinkedIn is a professional network. Just to build a profile, keep it current, updated, and connect with people. And when you review a profile, see from where to where they have come, from what background, what skills they built to achieve this. It can become a eye opener or could be a role model, inspiration as well. And most importantly, who are you trust or who inspires you? Take them as a mentor, request them to mentor you. Monthly once you have a chat with them for 30 minutes, 45 minutes on a Sunday. Use them as a sounding board. Give them, share your thoughts and views about the course of action you are doing to upskill or what area you need to. They will give you nuanced perspectives because they have been there, done that, or they are in the thick of things. And that will help you. Have a mentor.
These leaders would have learnt it hard way.
Yes,
Right?
they can give you pointers which you don't have to struggle.
Correct.
Have one mentor, they could actually do a whole world of good. We say, instead of reading 1,000 books, 1 hour you spend with a mentor, it will give you a lot of insights. And not to say or disrespect reading books is bad, but very importantly, having a mentor will.
Yes.
So do all these 8-9 things that I said, along with your, your core study, whatever graduation or PG you are doing. This would actually make you industry ready, right? Solid things that you can do. In your college, if you have any clubs dedicated to cybersecurity or AI, be part of it, be active and participate and gain from the knowledge that you get there, right? All these things will help you.
Very good. So my young aspiring cybersecurity enthusiasts, another roadmap from Dr. Ram: start early, be involved with the college, with CTFs, with all the events they are doing, all the hackathons you come across, any events happening in your area. Be there, participate, just be there, talk to the leaders, be in touch with them, have your mentor defined, talk to them regularly, and you are there. Thank you, Dr. Ram, for that. That was very deep conversation we had, and industry needs to come out of technical mindset to the leadership mindset and governance mindset.
True.
And that is what is needed today in the industry. Thank you very much. That was
My pleasure.
incredibly insightful conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Lalit, for being a wonderful host. It's been fun and it was a great experience to share whatever little I knew. I hope the session was useful.
It will be very useful for everybody, starting from young minds who want to come into the industry to the aspiring leaders of the industry. It will be very useful for everybody. You touched upon a lot of points which are very useful for everybody in the industry. Thank you so much for that.
It's been my pleasure and honor to be here. Thanks
Thank you.
for the
Thank you.
opportunity.